Hey guys, this is Nick with EDC Mag, and today I want to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about custom production knives. Now, when I say custom production knives, I'm talking about standard production knives that you can buy over the counter that are mass produced that you take and customize yourself. There have been many times in my knife collecting where either it was budget limiting or maybe I was just out there and just didn't really find something that tripped my trigger or interested me. So what I do sometimes is I take knives that I already have, that I already know that I really enjoy, and I'll modify them, or I'll have them modified. And so what I'm going to do today is kind of run you through a few of the knives that I've had done or that I've done myself, and just kind of give you an idea of a few names and a few people. There are a lot more out there than you can possibly catalog, but just some ideas. If you're So there have been many times where I was like, well, I've got a spare 100. Why don't I don't see anything out there I want. Why don't I just take something I have that's already awesome and make it mine? And there's a few things to keep in mind when you do this. Number one, I don't care how much you customize a production knife, it is still a production knife. It does not evolve. It is not a custom knife. It is still a customized production knife. So just keep that in mind going in. The other thing to keep in mind is when you customize a knife, assume that it's going to be yours forever. Because what you're doing is you're taking a generic blade and you're making it into something that you like. Now that doesn't mean that down the road someone else might not like it too and want to buy it from you if you decide you want to sell it and or trade it and get something else. But don't count on that, and definitely don't count on getting your money back either. A lot of times people, they're not interested in, they might like it, they might like the look, but they're not really interested in what you think looks good. So go into it with your eyes open, realizing that these things are factors. Now, is what I'm saying a guarantee? No, not necessarily. I mean, there are times when you could go in and customize something and make it 10 times better than what the production version was, and maybe you can demand that price wise. But even if you do that, you're still narrowing down your audience quite a bit. So again, just keep those things in mind. One of the first knives that I got that was customized was actually this Ziti 303. And this knife, the base knife, was actually kind of what started me into collecting, and I think it got a lot of guys into collecting from the stories that I've heard. I had one of these and was still learning about knives. I'd picked one of these up, not this one. And I found USA Made Blade, and what USA Made Blade did, Scott Whittington at USA Made Blade, he would take these and he would anno them, and then he would resell them at the normal retail price. And when I saw this knife, man, I fell in love. So I immediately got rid of the 303 that I had and took what I could get out of it, and then went and picked this one up from him. And I've had this for quite a few years now, several years. So this was back before they even had discontinued the 303, which I think they've discontinued several times. But USA Made Blade, even still today, he does some really cool anno stuff on knives, on production knives, and then he'll just sell them at the normal retail street price, and very cool. And the second one I got was this 920, and I was kind of looking around for something to do and picked this up. This was the very first 920 that Scott Whittington at USA Blade ever anodized, and he did this right when they came out, because this is actually serial number 48. This ZT 920 serial number 48, so it's a super low number, which doesn't really add to value or anything, but it's just kind of cool. And so I picked this up actually from a friend of Scott's. He had done it for a friend of his that lived down the road from Scotty's shop. And after I got it, I had it for a while, loved it, and decided it would be a good candidate for serrations. Now, I am a huge fan of Tom Veff and Tom Veff serrations. Not all serrations, Tom Veff serrations. There is a massive difference. The other thing with these serrations, most people have used them on CRKTs and that soft 8CR, 9CR steel, and the steel fails and they blame the serrations. Well, it's the soft steel. If you get a good quality steel, these things are just lethal. But I just love the way this thing turned out, and it really satisfied my need for, rather than going out and buying something new, I was able to take something I had and turn it into something unique. Now this one, it was the first one Scotty had ever done, Anno, and I sent it to Tom Veff, and he's been in the business for over 30 years, and it was the first 920 he had ever Veff, so it was a first of a kind and a one of a kind, which, you know, for me personally at the time, I thought, wow, that was pretty cool. From there, I had a War Admiral. There are others along the way that have came and went. These are the ones I still have. I picked up a War Admiral. It was just a regular War Admiral. I didn't have it very long, and a fellow knife friend, knife guy, really wanted it and bugged the crap out of me until I finally, I don't remember if I sold it to him or traded it to him. And once it was gone, man, it was all I could think about. So I went out looking for another one. And what I found was this one, and it was very unique. At the time, it still had the stock titanium scale, but this one was one of 10 ever made with the Nightmare grind. And this is the VDK War Admiral. And at the time, it was made by Wee Knives. And what I did with this is, down the road, I ended up finding, I was going to have the TI customized, but it just didn't, what I was wanting to do didn't fit the personality of the knife. I found another one that was carbon fiber, so I bought it, swapped the carbon fiber onto this blade, or this blade into the carbon fiber frame. I don't remember exactly. The backside someone had already anodized. And as far as I know, I think I've seen one of these that is black coated, Nightmare grind with carbon fiber. But as far as I know, I think this is the only one that is War Admiral, Nightmare grind, carbon fiber. So again, you know, you're taking a production knife, doing something different with it, making it unique, kind of making it your own. The next one that I came across was this Ziti, and this was kind of just out of the blue. This guy was customized for someone else, and the guy that does this lives in Czechoslovakia. And basically what he does, he makes some really amazing scales, and he is, I'm not sure of his name, but he goes by DNT3, so D is in dog, N is in Nancy, T is in Tom, 3, DNT3, on Facebook and Instagram. And man, these scales are brass, and they look a lot more like copper now because they've oxidized. But my plan with this was to put a tiger stripe blade in it. It's not something I ever followed through with. I think it looks really good the way it is, but dude, man, that brass is heavy. And I don't know if he did it, whoever did it, whenever it was apart, it might have been him or it might have been requested to customer. They de-assisted it. These Ziti 350s are normally assisted. If I ever took this apart, I would definitely put the spring back in it. But it's not a huge deal to me, obviously, because I haven't. But you've got, you've got the blade stop that you can use with your thumb to open it, or if you wrist flick it hard enough, you can make it happen anyway. So not a huge issue, but there's no detent ball in there, so it doesn't work really well without the spring. But anyway, something different. The guy DNT3, he faded for a while. It kind of went away. He's back now. He's making some really cool stuff. He's on Instagram and Facebook. I've reached out to him a few times. He's never responded, so I have had no interaction with the guy. So I don't know what the protocol there is, but you can track him down and figure it out on your own if you're interested. He does do some pretty amazing work. And then along the way, I was into Kershaw's. Of course, again, this was a couple of years ago. And Kershaw, companies can take Kershaw's and order limited runs and specify their color. They will buy them. They will give Kershaw the specs. So then they will sell them as, their own. So what House of Blades did is they had a blue and a red commissioned with, I think, S35EN steel. So it was a House of Blades limited edition, which this one is. This one is not. Kershaw, I believe, did their own blue as well, but House of Blades had a blue one with a higher grade steel. For whatever reason, it frustrated me because these are one of Kershaw's USA made models, the Link, and what I really wanted was, since I had red and blue, it only made sense that I should get a white one. And what I did foolishly, so I just basically made my own. I made my own scales, and I de-assisted it, and I shouldn't have. It does not work worth a damn de-assisted. It sucks, but I don't really carry it. It wouldn't be as bad if it had a thumb stud, but yeah, it's fine, whatever. It was mostly just an experiment, and this was done a couple years ago, and it's banged around in a knife drawer, and it still looks pretty damn good. But then they had a black limited release with a tiger stripe blade. I picked one of those up and added the tiger stripe to the white just for more uniqueness. Just something different. You're not spending a ton of money. You're getting a unique knife. Something different. Something that people recognize, but again, it's not something that everyone has. So for me, I think that's kind of cool. From there, I was looking at these from ADV. It's the Scavenger. I had looked at them for a while and just couldn't make up my mind. And Andre was doing them in different finishes, and finally I reached out to him and I said, "Hey man, can you do one in kind of a battle bronze for me?" And he definitely delivered. And so it pretty much came from Andre in this color scheme, but he did customize it, the color, and do the ano for me. And from there, I thought it was a perfect candidate because it's very Geigerish already, very kind of alien. And I did a review on this. I did do a review on this knife before I sent it to Tom Veff. I just felt like it was the perfect candidate. It had just a very slight recurve in here. Those knives, to me, much like the 920 from the factory, they have a little bit of a recurve, and it's just a perfect candidate for the serrations. So I had Tom Veff add the serrations for me, And, you know, Tom's just a phenomenal guy to work with and to talk to. I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge, just a really super great guy. It's probably a good thing I don't live down the street from him. I'd have everything I own theft. But he's a fantastic guy. And the last one I did a review on these as well. The Satu, the Grayman Satu. And I was looking for one because I had an idea to do a scale, and the one I found at the time was carbon fiber. So I went ahead and took the carbon fiber. These are long discontinued and not going to be made again probably ever. So I took the carbon fiber one. I had Tom add the serrations. These knives are brute knives. They're made to take out and abuse. That's what they're for. And to me, I just felt like serrations would only add to that. And people should know too, not only does Tom have his patent in serrations, but he also has been sharpening knives for 30 years, and he does just a phenomenal polished edge that is just, there's nothing like it. I mean, you've got 30 years of experience on one edge, and they are flat out amazing. I came across a second Satu for a good price, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I swapped scales, and a good a guy on Facebook. He's a really cool guy. I call him a friend. His name is Derek Carlson. He owns DNA Lasering. I had wanted something from him. He does a lot of amazing stuff for a lot of people. He's on Facebook and on Instagram under DNA Lasering or DNA Lasering 134 on Instagram. He just does some amazing stuff. So I got a hair one night, and this scale just has a lot of real estate, and what I wanted to have done, trying to reach out to the company, they're so busy that it was going to be a month or two, and I didn't want to wait. So I tried something different. So I actually drew this out and I sent it to Derek, and he took what I put on paper from my brain and made it a reality, and I couldn't be more pleased with it. It's just super cool. And again, you know, there's no other Grayman. It's mine. It's unique. It's not necessarily something that anyone else is going to like or appreciate, but I definitely do. And if you ever want something done, I did a review a while back too, and talked about he does those number 9 coins. So if you're ever interested in that, and he lasers all kinds of cool stuff. He does gun grips and just a whole, I mean, sky's the limit on what he can do. Very talented guy. So there you go, guys. Just some of my fart around production custom stuff. Just some different stuff that I've had done when I'm bored or feel like I need something new or different. Want to have a little fun. Just something to do. Something to fiddle with. Whether you do it yourself or have it done, give it a shot. Well, hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe give you some ideas, something to do on your own knives. This is Nick with EDC Mag, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. We're having a lot of fun. I've got some really amazing custom knives coming up here very soon. Hopefully next week we'll get started on those. Got some really cool stuff for you guys to check out. So stick around, come back, subscribe. Until next time, have a great day.